Hello, crafting buddies. It's Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, and I am coming to you at 3 minutes before midnight tonight on October 20th. So it's Monday, October 20th, 11:57 p.m. Phew. Let's get my devices set up so I can see if anybody's joining me. I guess I have sound, and I will try to keep up with comments, which is sometimes a challenge. And I'm almost there, almost there. Sarah, welcome. I was just trying to get my little welcome message up there. Alrighty, so how are you today? How's your voice? And is Amanda still camped out in bed? How long is her fall break? Our kids don't get a fall break. They get a day off for Thanksgiving. We have that in the United States towards the end of November. So I thought we'd do a little redo of last night's card. And I'll try it without the window sheets and we'll see how it works that way. Hopefully I'm not, am I stalled? There we go. Okay, I thought maybe my video stalled. So let me do a couple of quick announcements. Sala, I wish you could join my team. But we have free shipping. I may have to announce this again later too. Stampin' Up! Just announced today. So, voice is okay. How are you? I'm all right. So she's off for the whole week. Well, that lucky girl. So we have free shipping. 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It has to be US dollars of $75 or more to qualify for the free shipping. The joint offer. Awesome offer. I see some people are coming on, so feel free to let us know where you're joining from. Feel free to comment throughout tonight's live. We like that. A little conversation is always good among friends. So this starter kit, if you are not already a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, this is an awesome deal. You get $90 worth of free product. So you get to pick out $125 worth of product that you want, not a starter kit that somebody else has selected for you. You only have to pay $35 plus your tax. You don't have to pay shipping. You get a free paper pumpkin past kit. You get some catalogs and business supplies if you want to do it as a business. You don't have to. There's also another option for $189 worth of product that you only pay $99 for. Hello, Bonnie. But most people, I think this would be the best deal for them. When you pick out your items for that $35, then once you start placing orders, you get your 20% discount. You get your Stampin' Rewards. And hey, Juju. So this is just an awesome deal. And I have had several people join my team this month. So if you join just because you want the deal, that's okay. You can be a kidnapper. If you just want to be a community coach and stamp craft with some of your friends or family, that's fine. If you want to be a discount diva where you just are in it for the discount, that's okay too. And if you want to be a business builder, I can help you with that too. Hi, Yuda. When I joined, I wanted whatever deal they were doing at the time. I joined in 2017. I wanted the deal. And then after I got the deal, I kind of liked having the discount. So I hung around for the discount. And then I started doing it with some friends. And then I had my mother join. She was my best customer. So she joined my team. So I started building basically a little business here. So it's just a little side hustle. I'm not into it heavy like a lot of the demonstrators are, but I do like to kind of support my hobbies. So you do have the opportunity to make some money too. It's not going to buy you a mansion, but a little extra cash never hurt anybody, right? So that's that deal. Those of you coming on late, free shipping starts on Wednesday. Check it out. Stampin' Up! Just announced it today. This virtual craft class, if you're interested in that, shoot me a message. We've got new kits and new products that are dropping. November, we start some new online exclusives. So we are currently in a pre-order period. So all of my new people out there, you can pre-order products. You don't have to wait until November. So if you go to your menu and hit shop, I think in what's new, there's a category specifically for what's new. You will see the pre-order stuff populate to your page. And then last chance products are always a nice thing to look at because there's usually something inexpensive that is fun. And then look at what I got today. This was so fun. So I got a card from one of you. How fun was that? So I'm just going to cover this up so I don't have permission to say who this is from. But there's some splash on here, speckles. I don't know what you wanted to call it. There's some brushing on the edges here. This is from a paper pumpkin kit. So I got Happy Mail today. Woohoo! So this is from Juju. And she says on here, first ever card. And I got it. I have it in my hot little hand. So this was so fun. So Juju does junk journaling, and you can see Craftin' on the Back 40 if you see her name in here. And I've been watching some of your lives, and junk journaling is not anything that I was ever familiar with. But, it's interesting to watch. Yeah, isn't this fun? She did it with the kit. And this is the Forget-Me-Not flower that's got a little, tells you a little bit about it. So that's just really fun. I thought that was really exciting. So I knew it was a card because I recognized Stampin' Up! Stuff. So I figured it was, I had a clue when I saw the postmark because the return address was not written on here anywhere. So it was kind of a surprise, but I kind of knew. So this is going up in my studio as a keepsake. So that was pretty fun. All right, and then let's get down to business. I think that's all the announcements I have, unless somebody has any questions. Gold ink. Yeah, that was splatter. I think I was trying to think splatters. I think I said speckles, but yeah, it's all gold. Can you guys see that when let me turn on my other light too. So there's just splatter over there. It's like Wink Stella, but this is gold. So yeah, that's fun. All right, so last night's card, if you weren't here, you might want to watch yesterday's video just for the entertainment value, but it was a bit of a struggle. I wanted to do a double Z fold card, all right? And the double Z fold in and of itself is really relatively simple. It really is. And it's just basically a Z twice, and you flip one over so that you get that alternating layers. You get wide here and wide here on the back. Yeah, it was fun last night, Bonnie. Well, I'm glad you thought so. I wasn't bothered by it. It's just like, really? How is my brain not working? But, sometimes that happens. So I was trying to do some acetate sheets to put adhesive on there with the adhesive sticking up so that I could put it behind these layers, my layer of the trees on the cardstock, to give it some extra stability. Well, on my third try, I finally got it. Because the first try, I just wham, bam, I'm talking. I put the adhesive sheet on here and I run it through the embossing machine. And then I get it out and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's backwards. And I think I even, did I even talk about it? Or I think I just totally missed it. I totally spaced out that first run through. So I thought, okay, fine. I'll just set that over. I can use that for something else. So the second time, I get my acetate sheet and I put the adhesive sheet on it and I turned it over so that I could die cut with the sticky part up. And in my head, I thought it was working. It should have worked. So let me get the dies for you and you'll see. So my thought process, well, it's entertaining, Yuta. Maybe it's entertaining. Or it might just be boring. Like, really? Does this chick not know what she's doing? So anyway, I thought I had turned it over so that the sticky part of my window sheet would be up. And then I thought I put my die on like this. But obviously, sometime between what was going through my head and what I actually laid down on the machine, I flipped it over again. So I ended up with two that were exactly the same, exactly not how I wanted them. So I did it a third time. I was super, super careful. Figured it out. It worked. All right. But some of these void pieces didn't come out with the backing. And I'm just leaving them in there because they kind of look like snow to me. All right. And I showed everybody kind of how to do the scoring so that you don't ruin the intricate design. All right. And I thought that was helpful. You know, there were a couple of you that said, oh, you've never thought of that before. And so I think I showed everybody a nice tip for that. Because you can use it both for when you want to score or when you want to cut. Okay. And these have been, the accidental snow has been sticking on there, so I think they'll be fine. I think the few that were going to come off have probably come off. But aside from getting this cut with the sticky side how I really wanted it for the acetate, the challenging part was making sure that I could get the score line in the window sheet how I wanted it. And I think what I would recommend to other people is lay it out and then cut your window sheet so that you don't have to worry about folding it. Because you really have to use some force to fold, to score that window sheet. All right. So tonight, I'm going to just try it without the window sheet because after all was said and done, I love the card. I think what we worked out with everybody, you know, contributing, I think it worked out fine. I love the card. And I may not go through the whole thing because I didn't pull out the snowflakes and the ribbon and the sentiment. I'm just going to do the other part so you can see how it goes together. Now I kind of forgot where my train of thought was going. But anyway, I'm going to do it with just the cardstock here. And we'll see if that works any better. I think it probably will. Okay. But I have another tip for you as far as getting this all set up. So I'm just going to kind of lay this here, maybe. And we'll still have to do a little bit of die cutting. Oh, and I see a little piece that's still stuck in here. Oh, maybe it's just stuck on the top. Oh, there are a couple in here. I see them. And that, if you let these build up too much, the little pieces that are stuck in there, if you let them build up too much, then it doesn't let your die cut as cleanly or as deeply as it needs to. So there's quite a few little pieces stuck in here. But they may still be okay for the single cuts. All right. Yeah, my train of thought doesn't hang on either. All right, so it would be fun to put a, oh, I did that. And in fact, we did that. So if you go back to the video yesterday, you will see, and I'm just going to turn off the couple of my lights here. You will see that it was actually pretty cool. Some of the shadow you're getting on here is from my overhead light, but you can see how cute that would look. Hopefully it shows up kind of on the camera, but it looks really nice with the light in there, just sitting up as just like a mantelpiece. And then the little bit that we did with the ink blending back here, I think makes it look like the trees are giving a shadow, but the trees really aren't. So yeah, good idea. Glad we thought of it last night too. All right. Great minds think alike, Yuda. All right, so we're just going to put that out of the way. So the first thing I want to do is, last night we couldn't decide if we wanted to make our Northern Lights green or not. And Juju wasn't here anyway, but I had suggested lemon lime twist. And we eventually just agreed to just use the paper really without any green. However, you may have noticed that I did put a little bit of green on here because around here, the Northern Lights typically have quite a bit of green in them. All right. So for the longest time, you thought it was Trail of Thought. And in many ways, it does still make sense. Yeah. You get those forks in the road. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to add some greens to this because that's common around here is to see green in our Northern Lights. And I don't want to make it all green because I want to have some of that white in there too. Some of that's not actually going to show. Maybe I should make these a little brighter green because as I look on the camera, it might not be very vibrant. And we do want it to show green. All right, so I think that's probably enough to get the idea across. Sally, Sally, Sally the smartass. Yes. And I don't usually, I mean, I try not to swear, but yeah, that would be me too. So, all right, so that's that piece. And I did hang on to this from yesterday. I think these are still good measurements. So with this DSP, we're going to trim off 5/8 of an inch off the bottom. So if this is how I want it to lay, I'm going to trim off of this side. I'm going to take off 5/8 of an inch. So that's just 2 little hash marks past the 1/2 inch for those that struggle with the ruler. So Yuda, your Aurora are mostly a glow in the dark green. Well, and this lemon lime twist it's kind of like that. It's kind of it's a lime green. It's a bright green. All right. So then here, I'm going to cut these at 2 inches. I'm going to cut 2 of them because that's all we needed. And then you end up having a 3rd one as well. But I want to keep these 2 because I want my pattern to flow. Like this was a single piece of designer series paper that I cut in the middle. Hi, Tanya. So when we open it, it doesn't look like the design flows as much, but when it's closed, the design was intact. So that's what we're going to do here as well. And then we're done with that piece. We're going to figure out what card base we want to use. If we want to use this pool party again, or if we think we want to do white. So I'm just going to bring these little pieces out here. And I was kind of thinking of doing the pool party again, just so that we could do this ink blending with a mask, basically, from the trees in that pool party too, because I thought that was kind of a fun look. But we could also do, because this allows us to still write on here when it's open. There's some space there. Otherwise, you could put another piece on the back of here to write. Okay. Yeah, double Z folds are fun. So if we did the balmy blue again, let's just kind of lay these on here. It would kind of look like so. Now I wonder if I should get a piece of lemon lime twist to try this out. All right, so maybe let me go grab a piece of lemon lime twist. Because it was mentioned that it might turn out to be a little more Halloween-like, and maybe I should just make this into a Halloween card. That might be kind of fun. I could have it for my granddaughter to give to her teacher. This is going to get cut down the middle eventually so that it looks like this. But I want to do my ink blending first and then cut it so that the design flows. I should have done that last night, but I didn't. So there's Lemon Lime Twist. That's kind of fun since we put the bright green. All right, so we got the Balmy Blue, or the Pool Party. We've got the Lemon Lime Twist. We could put it on black because our trees are going to be black. And I could still turn it into a Halloween card. You don't see the Halloween vibe? Okay. I'd have to dress it up with Halloween kind of things, but I think it was just because the purples and the lime greens are kind of a Halloween trend here. They have been for a number of years now, which I never really understood. It used to just be black and orange when my kids were little, but, you know, tells you what I know. We could do it on black. You're too committed to Aurora being green. Yep. The Aurora Borealis. Or we could do it totally on white. But to me, that's just, I have another piece of trees. The white is, I don't know, the white is just kind of bright. So we got a vote for black, which I like. The Lemon Lime Twist or the black. Okay. And then I also brought in some Mossy Meadow, which is a darker green, but I think that's kind of boring because this green is not really in the greens we did. So I'm thinking either the black, it's going to look nice and rich, and I think that'll be good with the trees. And then the green in here is really going to pop. If we put the whole card on green, some of the background green might detract from the highlight greens that we have in here. I think I like it on the black. You could replace the white area with Lemon Lime Twist. Yes, I could. Pop some vellum ghosts on and gravestones, and it could be a mist rising from the ground. All right, so let me back up just a little bit here. So replace this with Lemon Lime Twist. We would put white here. So like white here. And white here, right? Is that the gist? And then I could still do the ink blending on here. All right, so what are we thinking? And then you figure this wouldn't be here, so. Any updates on choices? You meant the black base, okay. Black base, oh, and instead of the white, put Lemon Lime Twist in there. Oh, yeah, that would work. Okay. See, that's why I waited. Because sometimes what I'm reading is not what's intended. All right, so That would be cool. And then these would go across here. I kind of like that. What do we think? I like it. And then I could use Lemon Lime Twist to make the tree shadows, and it would be tone on tone. I think that'll work. I think that will work. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to score the base for the Lemon Lime Twist. So I already have a score at 4.5 because you know I usually take my full size 8.5 by 11, score it once, cut it once, and then I have my 2 ready to go. All right. So then I'm going to also score it at 2 1/8. So you can see here, we've got 8.5 by 5.5. All right. So here's our 8.5, 5.5. And then this here is if you wanted to do a separate Z, like a separate Z apron without trees and decorate it differently. So you can kind of ignore that part. All right. So we're going to score it 2 1/8 and 4 1/4 because we want this section in half. All right. So that's why I'm going to 2 1/8. And then we're going to go ahead and score that. Now, I did actually flip this so that my mountain, I had this one I scored here, and I flipped it up because my mountain goes in the middle, and then the valley goes across the top. All right, yeah. So if it's got the little bulge, that goes in the inside. It works in my head. All right, and I'm missing a bone folder. Oh, here it is. I was going to say I'm missing a bone folder again. All right, so there's that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these pieces on right away. Now, what I want to make sure is that I'm keeping my design intact. All right, so I don't want to put them this way because the design just doesn't match, right? So that's why I was careful when I cut them off that I took pieces that were adjacent to each other. That Z-fold could make a cool centerfold for your junk journals, or a regular journal even. It's very versatile. And there was something else that I was working on. Oh, like an expanding folder pocket sort of thing that I wondered if you might be able to use that in your journals too. Let's see if we can scooch this up just a little bit. I like a narrower border. So I just cut 1/8 of an inch down on my measurements so that I only have a 1/16 inch border. All right. And then, no, I'm doing this wrong. We wanted to have the black background. I wonder if I push this down too hard. Yep, see, it's only paper, right? Let me get my heat gun. Maybe I can warm that up. Because we were going to put it on a black base. That's silly me. That's what I get. I wasn't paying attention again. It'll be fine. My fingers are getting really hot though. Woo. And the green I'm not worried about. That's just one little section. All right, saved. All right. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to move this. And let's try this again. And I'm just going to put that down there for right now. So I do still need to cut the black base. So I did my score lines already. All right. So I have it scored at 4 1/4. I've got it scored at 2 1/8. All right. So I scored it all the way down because I know I am going to use my dies on here. Well, the dies are going to go on this side today. I learned that yesterday. But I wanted to have it pre-scored so when I cut it out, it's already scored where I need it to be. Just a thought. We'll see how it works. All right, so let's just cut this down to a card base size, which is 5 1/2. All right, now we're back on track. Oh yeah, it does work for that. Because all you have to do is heat up your adhesive and then it gets gummy again. All right, but I'm going to put more glue on here. And if you're gentle enough, it doesn't get wrinkled. Fix it like Lori. There you go. One of the gals, she's not here, Linda, not Fifi Linda, but my Linda that's on my team. She was actually here this afternoon, so we did a little bit of crafting and mostly visiting and eating. Because I have open studio time the 3rd or 4th Monday of the month. Whoops. Make sure you have the green at the top. So anyway, she was here, but she kind of teases now with what would Lori do? So when she crafts, sometimes if she's stuck on something, she'll call me or she'll just think, well, what would Lori do? Which I get a kick out of. I think that's funny. Usually I just kind of wing it. That's exactly it. WWLD. That's what she does. I just now saw that on my screen. All right. So this is a little bumpy, but it's not going to matter because our trees are going to get glued there. It's a little bumpy down here at the bottom. And the top actually is really smooth. So this will be good. That'll work. And then this one, I should have just put more glue on there because it's already tacky, so I could have it repositionable, but that's all right. I'll just put more here where I missed. Because I just like a thin layer all over. And we've got the green at the top. Whew. All right, and I'm going to close this so that I can line up my designer series paper at the top of the card so that it lines up with that front piece. And it's a little closer on the bottom, but quite honestly, I don't care because the trees are going to cover that up, right? All right. And I got a little bit of over glue there. Not a big deal. All right, so let's pull in our lemon lime twist that we are going to basically mask on. And I'm going to cut this down. I don't want to get glue on my trimmer here. So I'm going to cut this down to 4. And then this is going to be, instead of 5 1/2, it's going to be 5 3/8. Because that's what those side panels were supposed to be. And again, I'm going to cut this in half once we have the blending on here. So let's just, I've got adhesive on here from yesterday. I should probably get a little alcohol wipe, but I think that'll be good. All right. So we're going to take our lemon lime twist. And this was an extra one that I cut yesterday. So we're just going to use that, and we're going to make some tree designs on here. And we're going to see if hopefully this is going to be dark enough. Ooh, cool. And then we're going to move it. And we're going to make another layer. I love ink blending. See how that looks like this tree is behind now? Because the other night when I was working on those clouds, I started at the top and was moving down. And I should always start at the bottom and move up, because that's how you kind of cover it up and make it look like it's deeper. And I think I want to put just a little bit more, maybe like this. See if we're kind of straight here. And I'm going to try to avoid that little bit that I did in the middle on the previous run. What do you think? I think it's fun, very fun. And because that lemon lime twist is so light, you can still write on it. Hello, Florence. All right, so now I'm going to cut this in half so that I've got 2 inches for each side. Because make sure that was at 4. Because that would be a normal layer size. And again, I want to keep this. It is fun, isn't it, Sala? I want to keep this. I didn't cut it intentionally to begin with, because like when I did this one, I had them together, but they were cut and I was just holding them. And it's just easier if I just did the blending, the ink blending, when it was all cut together or put together, and then I can cut it when it's done. I hope that made sense. It kind of made sense in my head, but maybe not when it comes out of my mouth. All right. So I'm hoping that the people that watched me struggle last night are not too bored. But this one does look very different. And then that'll close like that. And then when we open it, now we're going to do our Z fold for this part of the trees. Yeah, I've only made a couple of mistakes so far, so you don't want to miss those. All right, so when I had this piece scored, I scored at the 2 1/8, right? And I scored at the 4 1/2. Okay. But what I want to do now is I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to flip it over, because the trees are going to create the wider part on this side. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm going to do that one more time. So when I scored my 8.5 by 11, I scored the whole sheet, because I'd rather score once and cut once. All right. If I can do a twofer, that's what I'm going to do. So I've got 2 1/8, 4 1/4. They're folded. And because I'm doing a Z fold, I'm going to do 180 and 180. Because this piece is going to get attached to there, and this piece is going to get attached here. We're going to match up the centers, because that's kind of our pivot point. So that's how we're going to create our double Z. Okay? So very carefully, I'm going to keep this like this. Very carefully, I'm going to cut out my trees, but I want to have them up a little bit because I want to have that strip down at the bottom. All right, so we're going to cut out this first one. And let me get my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out, my Bossy Bessie. We do learn from our mistakes, if we're lucky. Sometimes we make them again. Try not to, but you know, it happens. I love my crafting table too because it's tall enough. I stand when I craft, and it has cubbies on it. It's really quite big, you know, space-wise. But then I've got cubby holes underneath, so that's where I can put my trimmer and my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. Now I think I want to go get my, I don't know if I want to go get my flatter plates from my other machine. Last night I ended up having to run it through 3 times, but that's because of the window sheet, I think. There we go. I'm still going to run it through twice, just for good measure. The very first time I cut with this die, I cut through once and everything went through the first time. But now I have some of the window sheet pieces stuck in here, so I just want to run it through a second time, and we'll make sure. Oh yeah, that's coming out easy. All right, so I want to make sure that I brush these off of here, and I have a little bowl scraper that I use. What I want to do now is I want to take my die, because this die, remember, it doesn't have a cutting edge at the bottom. It's just open at the bottom. All right. Hey, Fifi. Did you get my email? I let you know I wasn't going to make it Monday tonight. I had too many things going on today. All right. So this one leaves off here. So I'm just looking at this little cut edge there, and I'm going to try to line it up and let it kind of hook in where that last cut was. And I'm going to put it through just like this. And hopefully it won't move. All right. All right. And look at that. So now I can take this piece off, and I'm just going to snip this off. All right, and then we can get this out of the way for just a minute here, because I want some of these pieces to come out here, right? So we may have to poke, and part of that is because there's still acetate pieces in my die. Hopefully this won't take too long. If I had taken more care and cleaned out that die from yesterday's experiment, this probably would have come out clean the first time. How you feeling, Fifi? You'd been sick too for a bit. I think Sally was sick maybe around the same time you were. Because I think last week is when you didn't do your Make It Monday, right? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're better. All right, we're getting there. Oh, okay. Now remember, we did our score lines ahead of time. So this is going to score real nice for me because I scored it before I die cut it. All right. Now I could get my brush and we'd get maybe about a third of them out with the brush maybe. Some of these are pretty small. So for me, it just works out just as well sometimes to use my finger with a poker. And then what I'm going to do is put another layer like this one on here. I'm not going to worry about the layer here because that's going to get stuck onto there. I'm only going to worry about the layer here where this is going to be a little more fragile. And I'm just going to dab glue on there. I could have used adhesive sheets, but I didn't want to embarrass myself by making the same mistake tonight that I made last night because I could just see me doing that. And I would like to get to those little Nutcracker guys in that kit that I got the other day too, just to kind of play with those a little bit and see if they're as cute as my friend told me they were. I didn't open the package either, I only opened the box. Oh, and Juju too, you missed it last night. My husband, Paul, said, tell your gals that the roadie said hello. He watched until he could see the comments and hear the conversation that was kind of the one-sided conversation. He's a good sport. Okay, I think I have them all. All right. He's probably asleep already, but I'll let him know you said, hey, Mr. Lori again. That cracks me up. All right, so then with this one, we just need to score this at 4 1/4 because this was from last night, so I didn't pre-score it. So that'll give those of you that weren't here last night an opportunity to see what I meant when I said we were going to score it at 4 1/4. But if you put, does it really need extra if it's going to be a throwaway card? Some people might not throw it away. I know a lot of the people that I sent it, like if I was to give this card to my dad, he will not throw it away. He is going to keep it and he's going to keep it out. He doesn't care if it's a Christmas card that's out in June. He will keep it out. And many of the people that I give cards to know that I make cards and they appreciate that they're handmade and they know they can't get anything like that from other card stores that shall remain nameless. Because I don't know if I can say their names on here or not. So what I'm doing here with this piece of paper is I'm making it so that I can score my detailed cardstock, but I'm not going to ruin the design. And my husband, I tell you, he keeps cards whether they're homemade or not. We have, it's, I don't know what they call it. It's not a coffee table, but it's a taller table and it's not real deep, but he's got a drawer in there and he's got all of his cards in there. So cards that I've given him, cards his sister have sent, you know, cards he's gotten for his birthday, he keeps them all. So anyway, yes, that's why I'm going to reinforce it because I do have people that do keep them. All right. So the other thing is I could do these a little offset, but I think it'll just make it look messy. So I'm just going to put them right up on top. right up on top. And that will just give them the reinforcement that I feel that it needs. Now what I could actually do too is maybe cut this instead of scoring it, because the score line didn't, was this scored at 4 1/4? I wonder if I scored this at 4. No, it's at 4 1/4. We're lined up over here. He does appreciate them. Maybe that's the Italian guy in him. I wonder if, oh, I know, this wasn't lined up quite the same. That's why. So I need to score this over about 1/8 of an inch. So we need to go over this way. Because this was a scrap from last night. I kind of forgot. All right, what did I miss here? Who's going through somebody's drawers? Oh, a while after your husband passed away, you went through his drawers to donate. And you found all the cards you'd made for him. Isn't that sweet? Didn't that just make you feel good? That he thought enough of what you did and, you know, the love that goes into a handmade card, that he kept them. All right. So that's going to go here now. I think we'll be good. All right. So my intention, because I wasn't really thinking that we were going to do a black base on our card, when I had scored my whole sheet, I bet you cried. I would too. I would too. So my thought process was I would have lined up my die and then just cut it on the same score lines. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some glue on here. I've been using a lot of glue lately. I suppose since I have it on here with this brush, I could probably just smear it, huh, instead of stipple it. I don't know if it matters. What I really wanted to know is if the trees are really fragile. If they'll bend. I mean, they're only as, it's just cardstock. So it does, you know, if it gets caught on your envelope, you could rip off part of your tree. And maybe I think too much about the quality of my cards. Oh, and I got a little glue on the front of there from my thing here, from my silicone mat. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put some glue down at the bottom. So you can see where, you know, they're pretty flexible. And if you have somebody who, you know, takes care of all their things, it'll be fine. But even just putting it in and out of an envelope, it could get stuck on the edge of the envelope. I'm just trying to see how far over I need to come here. So I just wanted it double layered. You know, the other thing that you could do is, if your dies are nice and clean, that you don't have any parts and pieces in here like I do, you could actually glue your cardstock together ahead of time, and you could run both pieces of cardstock through there. Now look at what I have here. Because my piece from yesterday wasn't as long. So I'm just gonna, what do I want to do? I am going to get a piece of paper towel. Some cuts are better connected than others. So, oh, you mean like here where they're connected? Yeah, I was more concerned about these top pieces that aren't connected. The ones here in the middle, those will be fine. It's just the top ones that I didn't want to break off. All right, we're just gonna dab some of that off. This part is gonna be fine, but this part I don't want glued anywhere. So I'm just gonna, I think, snip a little scrap to put in there. I could just put some of my embossing powder on it. Just to cover. You might not be able to see it, but I got glue there. I should have put the glue on the opposite side of my backing piece, but again, I wasn't thinking ahead. So hindsight's always 20/20, they say. I don't know how time goes so fast when we're doing these. You know, Sally, what was your video, like an hour, and you did 4 of your cards? Your, like your vintage Santa cards? Was that this morning? I don't remember if that was this morning or when that was. There's just a little glue residue on the front of here. All right. So let's bring our little base back in here. And we can go ahead and glue this on now. There's a little bit of residue here too. That's probably from my fingers or from the table. Okay. And we're going to line up our centerfold, and everything else should just follow suit. So all we want to glue is this panel and this panel. And we're just gluing down at the bottom. Well, no, for these we can actually glue part way up here as well. All right. So let's put some glue on the back of here. And I'm just going to strategically put some glue up here. Hopefully I won't have too much that it'll squeeze out. All right. And then we'll put some glue just on these 2 inches basically over here. And then I need to put a little piece in here too, it looks like. So I can actually have the glue coming over a little bit further. So I have a little bit of tack here as well. So let's just cut another little strip. Let's see if that's big enough. I just don't want that to stick to itself here. All right, the moment of truth. So we're going to go ahead and put the center in here. And then when I lay these down, they should go end to end. Press those down, and the middle piece doesn't get stuck. We got a little bit of glue squashing through here. But I'll let that dry, and if it's still tacky, I'll just take my little gum eraser there and take that off. All right. So the nice thing about this one is that I don't have any shininess here like I had last night with the window sheet, which I hadn't considered when I backed it with the window sheet. But then I'll decorate this as well. So this piece, I think I'm actually going to put, I'm going to put some glue on here because I want those pieces to stick to the bottom of the card here. So that they don't get crumpled up. Yeah, I think the lemon lime twist in the middle is a nice touch on here. And the difference with this is that last night we didn't put lemon lime twist in the designer series paper for the Northern Lights, but tonight we did. All right. So I'm happy with how sturdy this is with the 2 layers. And I like it better than just the single layer that we started out with. All right. So I will finish this one off and I'll post pictures. And I think it was much better that I scored it before I die cut it, which I didn't do here. I scored it afterwards, but we had that window sheet, so it kind of made a difference with that window sheet. Sometimes I make things just a little more difficult than they have to be because I overthink them. And I'm thinking, oh, the window sheet will help give it some stability and it won't show through, blah, blah, blah. Well, we know how that turned out. All right. Okay, Bossy Bessie put away. We'll clean out this die another time. And then let's, who wants to do Nutcrackers? Keep it clean. I really like it with that lemon lime twist. Good idea, Sala. I think that was your idea today. There have been other days that you haven't taken credit for things because I've probably forgotten who actually said something, but I think that was yours, Sala. Well, I'm glad you picked up something, Florence, that maybe you can use. So I'm going to leave these up here. And I don't know if, you know, if you want those measurements, you can always go back and watch the replay and just do a little screenshot of that. But it's a basic card front or card base, so that should be pretty straightforward. All right, so let me just clear out a little spot here. And something just fell. It might have been one of my dies. It was one of my dies. Oh, there it is. Don't want to lose that. All right. So did you order it or is it still in your cart, Nicole? It is very beautiful. And that's like, you know, when we had that grassy grove, I liked that one. There was another one, something in a perch. There was a perch one too. I still have it. I haven't gotten rid of it yet. But the perch one had like a circle and it had birch trees around it. I don't remember. But let's take a look at the Nutcrackers. So this is a new kit that released this month. We never get pre-orders on the kits because there's kits coming out every month. We do not have pre-orders, which is probably good because I have enough trouble keeping up with some of the stuff that's here for a little while, let alone kits that come out every single month. So the nice thing with these kits is it comes with everything you need. I guess I'll move these up a little bit. The kits come with everything you need in them. If it's a excuse me, if it's a stamping kit, you get an ink spot and you get a block. So you get all the adhesives you need. Sometimes I keep these little sheets for when I have my classes because they're convenient to put out for people who maybe don't have all of their things. All right, so let's take a look at this little guy. Now, if it is a stamping sheet, you want to hang on to this if you do not have a Pearson mat, because this gives you a nice little base for stamping on. For those of you that do journaling, these, I would think, as nice heavy chipboard might be good for some of your covers, right? I don't know. So if anybody wants me to save these, if they need covers, let me know. All right. And then we get instructions. So the instructions are like the paper pumpkin kits. They tell you what you need for each project, and then they tell you project by project how to put it together. All right, and then on the back, it tells you what is included for the kit here. But then there's QR codes. So they're great for covers. Okay, cool, Yuta. Thanks for that. And I'm guessing that's what Juju was going to say too. So if you just want to see some beginning stamping tips, this QR code is for that. If you want to see this kit created, this one, the SU kits, watch the detailed instructions for this kit when you scan the QR code. So this quick response code will get you somebody from Stampin' Up! Putting that together. All right, so let's just take a look at all these little elements. When you were doing, Sala, when you were doing your Santa ones or St. Nick ones, I don't know what you call him. I don't remember if you called him Santa or what. I don't remember. But I thought of this kit right away. So we have 3 of each 4 designs. And usually they're laser cut cleanly enough that I can peel out all of the layers at the same time. Now you could even use these depending on how you want it to work, but these could be masks too. Oh, Sala had to leave. I missed it. All right. Goodbye, Sala. Maybe her daughter got up because she's off school this week for fall break, she said. All right, but anyway, this morning on Sala's live, because it was Monday morning for whenever she was. Yeah, this is Monday. That's right. Whenever she did hers, she did these like vintage looking Santas, and I thought of this kit right away. But you could use some of these outside pieces. I don't know if I finished my train of thought. You could use them for like decorative masks. Some of them. If the edges are too close together, obviously that won't work because then you'll have ink going over the edges. All right, so I'm looking at these instructions. So I have this guy. Number 2 is this guy. 3 is her. I had them almost in order. So then I'm just going to watch the other components that they recommend. So this one calls for the green holly, it looks like. And there's 6 of them. So it looks like I'll need 3 for here. Maybe we get extras, I don't know. So I like to kind of punch out all of my pieces and then lay them where they're supposed to be. And I sometimes will follow the instructions for one project out of the kit, and then I usually just kind of do my own thing. I'm not big on following instructions. You know, if you look at a picture, a lot of times you can just figure it out. Yes, I do use sticky notes a lot of times to help control the mask edges. It's a good point. So I wonder if we have, excuse me, looks like we might have an extra sheet of those elements. I'm not sure. All right, and then we need, looks like we need a mustache. And his hat piece. And there's 3 of them, at least. Oh, there's more than that. There's a bunch. And then, oh, I wonder, are they 2-sided? No, they're not 2-sided. And then we need all of these for him. And then we need the beard for this guy. Thanks, Yuta. You must be heading out. Thanks for popping in. All the punching out probably takes longer than anything else. But I'd rather punch it all out at once and just be done with it than to have to go back and forth project by project and touching it multiple times. I was not originally going to get this kit, but I'm thinking we have so many little ones in our family now that we do Christmas gifts for. I thought, oh, these would probably be fun for the kids' gifts for Christmas. All right, and then these, let's test the glitter. The glitter does not come off. It passes the Lori test. Phew. These come in multiple languages. And that's so because you can get the kits in all of the Stampin' Up! Markets rather than having them sort kits by language. They just do all the kits with all the languages because it's just more efficient. There's some little pieces there that didn't want to come out. They'll probably come out better if I was doing them one at a time, but I want to do them all at once. All right, so I only have 3 of these, but it seems like we had extras of some of the other ones. Maybe I just had a bonus. This guy has the For You. Sending Joy for the girl there. And then Cheer to Last the Year for our last guy here. All right. And then all of these others, I won't save them. If somebody else wants these foreign languages, it's probably French, German, and Dutch, I think, are the extra languages they put them in. So if somebody wants those, let me know and I can mail them off to you. All right, so we have everything sorted. let's go to this one. So we need our guy here. And this is going to go behind here. I guess I didn't poke out all those holes. So that'll go here. He's got the wreath. We're going to put his crown on. So if you look at these directions, and maybe I should zoom in for you ladies a little bit more right now because we don't need, is that far enough? So you can see on the directions it shows where you need dimensionals on these extra pieces. So I'm just going to follow those instructions. I'm going to use my own dimensionals. They're using mini dimensionals. And let's just put on the hat, we need 2. And on his mustache, we need 1 in the middle. And then on the believe, it just calls for 2. Did they give us big? No, they're little ones. I would think you would need more. Oh, but I suppose they're probably because of the tag, it would be too wide. I'll just follow the instructions, I guess. All right. I guess we'll put him back there. And his mustache. All right, save that mustache. This goes just across his middle. And then the holly, it just shows with a glue dot here, and you get the glue dots too. I'm just going to use some liquid glue. Looks like that goes there. And then these will get tied together. So let's just, it's calling for 12 inches. So it'll tell you how much twine you need as well. And then there's also a ruler on here. So from 1 to the end is 9. But I have a ruler on my glass mat too. So we just need, it says 12 inches. Probably don't need 12 inches, but. And then it looks like we're just going to feed that through. Yep. So just feed it through both of these layers. Now what my team leader did, she had a Christmas Stamp-A-Stack, I think. And she used these as name tags, I guess. So I'm not sure where she might have added the names. Maybe she put the names on the backing piece, or maybe she just put the names on the back. I'm not sure. Or maybe she put just another loose name tag on them. I don't know. But they would make cute name tags. You could tie them onto, you could make a loop and they could hang on like a bottle of soda or beer if that's what you want. And then let's see, do they tie them? So they just leave them loose, so if you tie them on a package, obviously, they're good to go. So that's pretty cute, don't you think? You could make them as ornaments for a tree, too, if you decorate a tree. So that was really easy. So, next guy here. It's probably going to be more of the same. And I think this will be maybe the last one I do, because they're all going to basically, well, of course, then you can't see them put together. I was going to say they're all going to go together the same way. They're all pretty basic. But there's no stamping in this kit because everything is pre-printed, which is kind of fun if you just need something in a hurry, you know. Quick and easy, but cute. Now I like to have my loop showing on the front rather than having it split. So I always lead my loop through from the front. If that matters to anybody else, it might not. All right, so his little helmet. We just need 2 dimensionals on. We're going to put the holly kind of down at the bottom of this one. Kind of around the top of his boot, I guess. And kind of getting those messed up. We need his beard. And I think that's it. Beard, the hat, and the sentiment. Yep. Yeah, they're actually designed to be gift tags. But I'm just thinking of other things that you could use them for if you didn't have anybody that you thought they were appropriate for gift tags. That's what I was saying, you know, we've got a lot of littles. A lot of the kids in our family are young enough to appreciate the fun tags. And they just kind of come to life with those raised elements. And I guess they have his belt showing. We don't want that candy cane to be hidden. All right, so there's our little tag number 2. They are really quite cute. You know, when you look at just these, they're kind of like, whatever. But once you get the raised elements on them and tie them together, they are really cute. So you could put these in the pocket of a card. You could put them in a journal, because this could make a little journaling piece. You know, if you didn't have a whole lot to write or you just wanted to put the date or something. So let's go to the next 2. These go together really quick. And once you get one done, of course, the others are just more of the same. So it's pretty easy. Fifi's heading out, I take it. Good night, Fifi, if you're still here. Sorry if I missed it. And I'm just having an easier time putting those threads through individually than trying to do it through both layers. I don't know why. All right, and her little holly goes near the bottom as well. And you can obviously do you do you on how you want your pieces to be. You could actually mix and match all the pieces and make them really funny. Nothing wrong with that, right? I like her little boots. They're cute. They got the glitter on them too. Am I missing anything else? I'm missing, oh, her hat. They could be on, do you do any craft fair things? Nicole, do you do craft fairs? Juju, yes, they would be good on Happy Mail swaps. All right, so there's her. And then, oh, and I put the wrong back on hers. How did I do that? Oh, I used one from here, I guess. I suppose maybe they gave you extras in case you wanted to mix and match, but I guess I want the pink one for her. Or the red one. I wasn't paying attention. If you have like work gifts that you exchange, you could put them with a tip at a restaurant. You could put them in the mailbox for your mail carrier, for your UPS guy with a little, you know, attach it to a little bag of treats. I mean, there's only a dozen of them, so. Now I could get a couple of these and have my granddaughter put them together for her friends at school. Okay, so these don't fit with what you sell. Yeah, and that's why they make a variety of kits, because not every kit is for everybody, you know. This is not one that I would normally have bought on my own, like for me. Although I do like to try to get most of the kits so that I can at least show other people what they look like. And then usually once I've made them, I'm like, oh, that was really cute. All right. And then cheer. Cheer's got a little couple pieces here to punch out too. Just one, I guess. I have a craft fair coming up in November, so I might do these up and have them out for that, just to demonstrate or to have on display so that people can either buy them individually or order the kit if they want to make their own. Because our kits around here, our kits sell pretty well. I sold quite a few of them at one of the craft fairs that I did. I don't always make items for my craft fairs. I'll take some of my retired products, because with Stampin' Up! We can do that. I'll sell some of my retired products. I can sell adhesives. I can sell kits. I can sell designer series paper. Memory and more cards I think we can sell. Envelopes. And then I'll have some items made. You know, like little 3D backpacks or little candy boxes. And I'll have them filled, usually with some kind of candy. But then I was talking with another demonstrator who said it was suggested to her that she have some boxes that would fit candies, but then have them empty because some people have some allergies and they don't want a certain kind of candy. But they would buy a bunch of them and fill them with the candy of their choice. Well, that's a shame that they're covering up his drum. I think I'm going to put that up a little higher maybe so we can see. Or maybe I'll cover up his boots. His boots are nothing special, right? I don't think we have any boots still. No, just his hat and his beard. So we'll just go like this. Okay, and then I need a beard. So those are actually pretty cute. All right, so let me kind of get some of these things scooped up and let's put these guys back down here. Oh, let's see. I'll just put them on here. They're pretty cute. Cuter than I would have thought. But they have the, basically the glitter enhancements already on them. They could make cute little bookmarks for kids too. So that's it. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thanks for the suggestions. And don't forget, free shipping. Juju, I don't know if you saw that, if Juju's still on here. Free shipping, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Good way for new people, if you're placing your first or early orders. Free shipping is great because you'll get your Stampin' Rewards and you'll get your discount as a demonstrator. So you are welcome, Nicole. Thanks for popping in. Thanks, Juju. It's nice I didn't have any technical difficulties, at least. They are, I would say they're definitely better in real life than the pictures. So, so we got those, and then I'll finish up this. I'll post it on my Facebook page when I get it done. I'm not sure if I'll do that tomorrow. We're taking my dad out for lunch. It's his birthday. So I'll be tied up with some things tomorrow, but I will get to them and get them on my Facebook page as soon as I can. I appreciate you all hopping in. The green one? Which green one? We've got 3 different shades of green. Oh, this one. You like this green card. Yes, definitely. I like them both, but I think I really like the green. I just like the bright colors. But last night when we didn't put the lemon lime twist on there, I said, oh, it's a shame Juju's not here because she would like lemon lime twist. And then we ended up not using it. So I was glad we used it tonight because I know that's kind of a color that you were drawn to. So, all right. Thanks again, everybody. And I'll see you, I don't know, 22 hours or so, something about that time. Sometime between 11 p.m. and midnight. So, happy crafting, everybody.